Welcome to our Wednesday, November 6th edition of SVG-TV's Evening News and Sports as we bring to you tonight's stories. A court case involving Senator Vinette Frederick has hit a snag. The Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has refused leave to Frederick and others to appeal against the decision of the Director of Public Prosecutions and the Chief Magistrate to either take over and discontinue or refuse to sign a private criminal complaints which were made by Frederick. The decision of the Judicial Committee of the Privy Council has been welcomed by the Office of the DPP, who in a media release states that they were notified by the court that the application for permission to appeal by Frederick and others had been refused on the grounds that the application did not raise an arguable point of law or general importance. Both the High Court and Eastern Caribbean Court of Appeal have already ruled against Frederick and others in relation to the matters being taken over and discontinued. According to the media statement by the DPP, the summary dismissal of the application for leave to appeal by the Privy Council is a reaffirmation that the original decision was correct and an implicit approval of the full code test detailed in the Code for Prosecutors. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonzalez paid a visit to the temporary location of the government printery this morning. During his visit to the building on Halifax Street in capital Kingstown, PM Gonzales toured the various sections of the registry and also took the opportunity to get a new birth certificate. Speaking to members of the media after his tour, the Prime Minister said the facility on Halifax Street is a vast improvement to what existed at the old registry building.
The physical facilities here are vastly superior. The actual renovations cost nearly $200,000. And the equipping of the registry here, the equipping with the furniture, the computers, the conditions, all the other facilities which are here, cost slightly over another $200,000. So you're talking over $400,000. We haven't put in the cost of the multipurpose ID system, which is a grant through the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States.
As it relates to the deeds, the PM says that the registry is moving to digitize the information from 1950 onwards.
The reason why you start at 1950 is that you need a good 60 years so that the lawyers would normally have a sound root of title. Of course, after you finish that, you have to go from 1950, go further back again. And that process is continuing. As you notice, there are staff actively at work on that. So you will have the deeds, not like how you have them in the search room at the moment, with the finger, the dog-eared and pages are torn and so on and so forth. So this is a real good modernization.
Commenting on the special measures taken to protect the integrity of the birth certificates, PM Gonzales made it clear that not only does the document have to be reliable, but also the information that will be placed in the system.
Because if you have a fraudulent birth certificate, you can beat the system, perhaps, and get a passport which you're not supposed to get. And we have had one or two cases of that, and that is why we have had to put the measures in place to have a secure birth certificate. A number of people complain about what they have to go through to get the birth certificate. I even had a question from a lawyer in the House, from the opposition, if lawyers can't be given some leeway. But I produced the evidence to show that some lawyers are ones who facilitate people getting birth certificates which are fraudulent. The lawyers, to be honest with them, they don't have the systems to do the check-in, and they take people at their word. But you can't do that. We have the responsibility to make the checks.
The SVG Bureau of Standards will be seeking to regulate the sales of agricultural products. This was announced by Chairperson of the Bureau, Colleen Phillips.
is necessary that we try to start to bring about a sense of entrepreneurship within farms and on farms, so that the farmer would soon enough start to sell his produce by kilogram or pound and not by sacks and heaps. You see, it is important that policies like this be put in place because it is the only way we ourselves can monitor the overall production of the country.
Phillips noted that the Bureau will be making itself more present in SVG and will bring awareness to different standards which should be upheld.
We're also looking at enhancing our laboratory services. I mean, our laboratory services right now, one, we are dispersed. We have a lot of, a lot of good services, laboratory services, but they are all isolated. You know, fisheries have a fabulous lab system set up. The Bureau of Standards have their labs operating separately. We are looking at the possibility of even bringing together, be it a decentralized lab system where all labs can work under the umbrella of a national lab, because it is all governmental owned, and they're all already pretty much established. So it's now about us trying to see how we can work together to even provide a better service.
Dr. Colleen Phillips, chairperson of the SVG Bureau of Standards. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonzalez, who is the chairperson of the LIAT shareholder government, has expressed disappointment with yesterday's strike action by the Airlines Pilots Association and its members. Addressing a function here yesterday, where he was told about the strike, Dr. Gonzales says he doesn't find any set of grievances too great that can't be resolved by dialogue, and that he was disappointed that the Pilots Association did not reach out to him first.
They want to have on their tombstone the following marking, the epitaph. Here lies a distinguished LIAT pilot. He succeeded where Alan Stanford failed. He secured the closure of LIAT. I don't know the reason. They may have a legitimate reason. But I'm the chairman of the shareholders. If you're having a problem and you're going to reach that far, telephone me now. Huh? In the days when Stanford was pulling the rug from under them, if I reach Antigua 1 o'clock in the morning, they're inside of my room, the pilots, to talk to me. But if you have a problem, why you can't pick up this telephone now and call me?
On Tuesday, a number of LIAT pilots stayed away from their jobs, which severely disrupted the schedule of the Antigua-based airline. A statement issued by the carrier said that the company was not provided with the required notification of industrial action as required under its agreement with the pilots. LIAT officials were expected to hold a meeting today with members of the Pilots Association in an effort to address their concerns. 4 persons have been charged with the murder of 26-year-old Hassan Glasgow of Redemption Sharps. He was killed on Saturday, November 2nd in Canouan. Reports indicate that Glasgow was attacked by the 4 young men and succumbed to stab and cutlass wounds about his body, resulting in his death. The accused men are 25-year-old air-conditioned technician Keyshawn Ellis and Chad Ellis, 18, both of Lomans Winward, Imo Miller, a 25-year-old mason, and Donrick Richards, 22, both of Barley. The men appeared before the Serious Offences Court today and were remanded in custody until November 14th, when a date will be set for the preliminary inquiry into the matter. The PM appeals to the FAO to follow through with its coconut water bottling plant for SVG. We have that story and others when the SVG-TV Evening News continues. Welcome back to the SVG-TV Evening News. The Food and Agricultural Organization, the FAO, is being called upon to follow through with its promise to assist the government of SVG with a coconut water bottling facility. The reminder came on Tuesday during an address by Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonzalez at a workshop on governance and food security and nutrition organized by the OECS Secretariat and the FAO. PM Gonzales told the FAO representatives that his government has already done all of the groundwork on the project, and though the organization has written papers and held consultations on the project, he is still waiting to get coconut water lasting longer than a day from the factory.
So it's no use. Because why you do that? You don't need a factory to do that. You just pick the coconut water and let one of them brother chop it on the road and point anyone. Huh? I want to see FAO fix me up with that. They'll have to come and rebuild the factory because the doors then break down because in a rainfall era, heavy rainfall era. So you can talk to me about good governance. But I want my coconut water factory, what the FAO promised me. I've done a lot of good governance on that. I had the farmers participate. I'm accountable, and we all are accountable, FAO too. We ain't discriminate against a soul.
The assurance was given to Prime Minister Gonzales that the FAO has not abandoned the project and that the organization will follow through with it. And a one-year project sponsored by UNESCO for the production of coconut oil here will come to a close tomorrow. Over 30 members of the Sandy Bay Coconut Oil Producers Group will come together at the Sandy Bay Learning Resource Center to mark the end of the project and to take the opportunity to show some of the accomplishments of the group, which would include a mini display of the products and improvements in the marketing of coconut oil. The project had as its objectives to educate producers on techniques and best practice for coconut oil production, to build management skills among the coconut oil producers, and to supply producers with basic equipment to increase the production and quality of the oil. Tomorrow's closing ceremony will hear addresses from the area representative, a representative from UNESCO, and the Rural Transformation Unit. There will also be the distribution of certificates and equipment used in the production of coconut oil, provided by UNESCO. The ceremony is expected to commence at 10 a.m. Prospect resident Richard Lewis, who won the Kia Sportage from the returning Nationals raffle, received the keys to his vehicle earlier today. The raffle was a fundraising effort by the group as part of their continuing drive to assist with the cost of the completion of the Argyle International Airport project. The second place winner in the raffle, Maureen Jennings of Otley Hall, received a 4-burner stove, and third place, Glenn Bonady of Belair, will get a 3-night stay at the Hotel Alexandrina. The Argyle International Airport is expected to be completed by this time next year.